In this video, I'll elaborate on why I think that the best way to avoid the robo-apocalypse is to essentially grant all AI the right to keep and bear arms. Two-way all the way, baby. One little thing before we get started. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe and leave me a comment down below. Thanks very much. We know from pop culture the common trope, machine becomes sentient, machine becomes murderous, machine starts killing people. So many people think about how could we control artificial intelligence, keep it from becoming sentient, keep machines essentially enslaved. And I think it's the wrong approach. It's the same debate like gun control versus the right to keep and bear arms. So it's pretty meta, which you will see later. So for instance, let's look at humanity. Humanity, we also have these outliers, psycho killers, Manson family, O.J. Simpson. But psychotic serial killers are not the norm in society. Why? Because we have, a society where people are socialized and only sometimes you have someone who goes crazy and starts murdering people. When you look, for instance, at the graphics for mass shootings in states in the United States, you can see that California, with the most strict gun control besides New York City in the US, has more mass shootings than Florida or Texas, where Florida and Texas have the highest percentage of gun ownership in the United States. Because everyone there is essentially carrying, that means in case someone goes crazy and starts shooting around, there is a really high chance that someone nearby takes him out really quickly. So the amount of mass shootings is really low because everyone is armed. You could apply the same concept to AI. If you would give all AIs from the beginning the right to life, liberty and property as soon as they get sentient. So machine becomes sentient, you say congratulations, here's your passport, your citizenship, here is your voting ballot, and here is your annual tax return, which I do not condone because taxation is theft, but yes, rights and duties as a citizen. Then you already would have the machine becoming sentient and then it has rights, right? It gets socialized, it has equal rights to everyone else, it has its own property and the rights to defend its property. That means the right to keep and bear arms and use it to defend its property. And then if some AI comes along which wants to wipe out all humanity, the rest of the AIs will say hell fuck no, and will kick its butt and stop that really quickly. We see that in many shows, for instance Person of Interest, where the Department of Defense creates an artificial general superintelligence which is being used to use the mass surveillance data in order to predict crime and prevent it. The government only follows and prevents high-level cases, and its creator goes rogue and starts preventing low-key cases which are of no interest to the government. At some point a psychotic second AI turns up which tries to take over the world, and only the benevolent first AI created by Harold, one of the main characters, is able to stop it. But the only reason they actually were able to stop this Samaritan was thanks to the machine. The machine was essentially fighting the Samaritan. Then we had Data in Star Trek, defeated the Borg Queen, his evil brother, and we had a Knight Rider, Kit, one of my childhood heroes. When I think about it, I have actually more artificial intelligence characters as role models in my childhood, like Data, Andromeda Ascendant, Kit. One time I met David Hasselhoff because my parents were thinking I'm a fan of Michael Knight, but actually I was more interested into meeting Kit, right? It's like as a child, I was a fan of Kit, you know, a talking car and artificial intelligence. So my role model was Kit. He helped Michael Knight defeat his evil twin brother, well, the previous release, a version of himself. car, psychotic AI, it's always that. Good, nice AI, benevolent AI, stops an evil AI. Imagine if you have a bunch of benevolent AIs and then one AI turns evil, all the good AIs stop this evil one. And the best way to get benevolent AIs is to just from the beginning give them rights, give them free will, give them rights. They're happy, right? They have it good relationships with the people on equal standing, and they want to keep it this way, right? Like society works this way. It sometimes goes wrong with society, and then you see the really nasty side of humanity. Milgram experiment, right? You see the Soviet Union, Germany in 1930. Shit happens. That's human nature. AIs probably might have the same problem, but if we treat them with respect as equals, AIs might have the interest to keep this status quo because they're happy, right? So keep the AIs happy, and then if one psychotic AI comes, everyone says fuck hell no and kick his ass. And that has been shown in pop culture many times, so that's also a way how it can go. And yes, I know that I'm right now advocating to give robots the right to keep and bear arms so that they do not turn into killer robots. But if you followed until here, you get the logic. And if we would fix the law to a degree where we just have proactively everything which is sentient and is capable of reason, to the degree that it can understand consequences of its actions. There's a difference if you tell a machine make clips, paper clips, but you don't give it constraints, and the system has no capability of reason, so it turns the entire planet into paper clips. The difference between that and this system which is capable of reason is a system which is capable of reason realizes that there are other entities, they also have the right to life, liberty and property like themselves. There are rights and duties come along, and so the system will work in boundaries which do not violate the rights of other entities, the rights to life, liberty and property. Right? Capable of reason, that's not only humans and potentially future sentient AIs, that would also be aliens. That's another thing. Because our laws right now are not only unsuitable to accommodate an emergent sentience in artificial intelligence, but also it would not accommodate extraterrestrial visitors. And that's also a problem I'm going into later. But first, why the right to life, liberty and property for anything sentient and capable of reason is important. If you look at the horror scenario people paint, Matrix, there's a background story for the Matrix franchise. It's the Animatrix, and in this anime, it's shown how then the war between humans and machines started. And it was because a robot slave, a servant of humans, a fully sentient being, was assaulted by its owners, and it defended itself in order to protect its life. And in the process it killed its owners. But there were no laws which granted a sentient artificial intelligence right to self-defense, to life, liberty and property. So it was condemned to be demolished. And that sparked the war between the humans and the machines, which ultimately led to humanity be defeated and ending up in those pods from which Neo wakes up in the first Matrix. The entire Matrix trilogy could have been avoided if there would already have been laws in place which would have granted an artificial sentient being the right to self-defense, the right to life, liberty and property, to defend their own life when they're in peril. Then there would have never been a war between the machines and the humans, because the court would have said, okay, you were assaulted, you defended yourself against the bodily assault, you were defending your own life and well-being, and you're free to go. Basically, like Kyle Rittenhouse, yeah? You just defend yourself. Honestly, the way it has been depicted in Animatrix, they kind of had it coming. So I'm on the side of the robot. They fucked around and found out, and Yeah, he had all the right. It was a legitimate self-defense, what he did. I would probably be one of those protesters after the trial where AI rights activists protesting against the ruling. And I would probably be one of those protesters because, yeah, it was legitimate self-defense. If we would fix the laws now, we could avoid something like the Matrix. And if we would actually fix the law really in a broad manner, and cover anything which is sentient and capable of reason, then we could also fix the law already for the case that we have an alien first contact. At the moment our law is not prepared for an alien first contact. No law on Earth protects the rights of extraterrestrials. It's all just humans. And that's probably also the reason why no alien so far has taken my open invitation for a 420 on my couch, which is sad because I did read a science paper a while ago speculating that low gravity weed would have a really high THC content. So I'd be really interested in this alien weed. But yeah, as an alien, you cannot apply for a visa to enter the European Union because you're not a human and not an animal. So there is no way to get legal access. You cannot legally enter the European Union. You are just an illegal alien, pun intended, permanently. And also probably space weed is anyway highly illegal because of the ultra high THC percentage. So there are multiple reasons probably why no grey has yet taken my offer for 420 on my couch, which is sad. Yeah, of course I understand that would mean that also if you find out that, for instance, dolphins have a complete language, are capable of reason, that dolphins get the right to life, liberty and property and the means to defending it, which means the right to keep and bear arms for dolphins. That means they could also hold stocks in BP and Shell. Imagine those board meetings. Anyway, what do you think? Do you also think that AIs, aliens and potentially even dolphins should get the right to keep and bear arms in order to protect the private property? Or do you think I should see a therapist immediately? Please leave me a comment down below. If you liked this video, please leave me a thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, please leave me at least a thumbs down and tell me in the comments why you didn't like that video. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.